Welcome to Biblical Creation Basics, Episode 4, Created Heterozygosity. This episode discusses the design diversity hypothesis, or the created heterozygosity hypothesis. Heterozygosity simply means a state of DNA diversity. This model would suggest that the original created kinds, including Adam and Eve, would have been created with design diversity. God would have front-loaded them with functional DNA differences. This would give the original kinds the capacity to change and adapt to new environments. There exists a major difference between the biblical creation model and the deep time evolutionary model when it comes to explaining the origin of genetic diversity. Evolutionists would explain the origin of most or all genetic variation as being the result of mutation, while the biblical creationists would explain most genetic variation as being the result of initial design. God would have front-loaded kinds of creatures with created nuclear heterozygosity, or in other words, built-in diversity. This one basic difference has massive implications in terms of explaining the origin of today's varieties and species. These front-loaded DNA differences could easily translate into an enormous amount of visible change and variety. And this could be done simply through genetic processes such as recombination and gene conversion. In sexually reproducing organisms, there exists a scrambling of DNA each generation. This means the built-in alternatives will be scrambled over time, leading to incredible change. This model actually makes some very amazing predictions on DNA function. The trajectory of discovery strongly favors genome-wide functionality and thus fulfilling and meeting these predictions. It is an astounding thing to consider that with simple heterozygosity, incredible variation can be produced. Even today, a husband and a wife can produce incredible variety in a single generation. This is because we have built-in genetic diversity today. Therefore, Adam and Eve, thousands of years ago, with DNA differences between them and also within them, can easily explain the ethno-linguistic differences we see today. In fact, this model effortlessly explains the number of species on the planet today. Created organisms with designed internal diversity do not need mutations to generate today's diversity. As a matter of fact, this internal diversity will lead to rapid change quickly. Since the genetic variation is already built in from the start, processes such as natural selection, recombination, and gene conversion can convert this diversity into change instantly. In a nutshell, with heterozygous ancestors, a substantial range of combinations of chromosomes, genes, and traits will be probable. An incredible amount of morphological adaptability can be derived from the original created archetypes. In future videos, we will get into the many more amazing ways God created organisms to change, and change rapidly.
As a quick reminder to everyone, hit that like button. It actually does help. Team Standing for Truth is out.